Hey guys, so we're gonna get back into Zion's affairs. Okay, so this is part 7, and we last left off with Zion and the detective discovering some smell that was setting rigor mortis, and they had to discover what exactly that was setting rigor mortis in her room. And so once they got downstairs to the front desk, they also discovered that the last person who had rented that room was Zion's husband and his mistress, Samantha. Zion is just, I mean, Malcolm just passed away, and now she discovers that not only was her husband cheating with this woman, she was just checked into his room. Okay, we're going to start there. Zion just couldn't believe it. She just kept thinking, I wonder did this guy know that he was checking me into that room? So it's just kind of odd. So she walked over to the detective and said, hey, you don't find it odd that I was checked into the very room that my husband shares time with his mistress in? He said, now that you put it that way, he said, yeah. He said, that is pretty odd. She said, why would he do that? Do you think that that's a coincidence, or do you think that was planned? He said, we'll get to the bottom of it. Trust me. He said, those are good questions. And he said, as a matter of fact, let's ask him now. So they walk over to Barry together, and they looked Barry dead in the eyes, and he said, shall I or shall you? she said, Barry, I had a question. She said, why did you check me into 707? Well, I mean, it was available. I get that, but how's your vacancy right now? Well, vacancy or occupancy? Either one. What is your occupancy? Up to what percentage? We're about 70%, ma'am. So there's 30% rooms here in this motel that are empty, correct? Yes, ma'am. So out of all the rooms in the 30%, why did you assign me to 707? It was no reason, ma'am. I mean, there was no reason behind it. She said, that's kind of odd. She said, well, one more question. So the detective was watching her being a detective, and he was a little turned on. She said, one more question, Barry. How often did my husband and Samantha share that room? He looked over at the detective, and he looked back at her, and he said, technically, I'm not privileged to give this information without a warrant. I understand. But can you appease us and without the warrant, and if you don't mind? Just give me a second. So he gets to tapping into the computer, and he pulls up the information. And then he checks the dates. He said, ma'am, I'm not going to lie to you. He said, I hope this is not disappointing, but it looks like they frequent here at least about 3 to 4 days a week. 3 to 4 days a week? Is this the only room that they frequent? Yeah, 707 is their room. Oh my God. What are the odds that I would get the same room? I don't know, ma'am. I had no idea you was his wife. I think it was just when I booked your room last night and I checked you in, I just grabbed the first key, and I think that was it, because they did return it that same day. And he said, so I apologize if it looks like it was plotted against you. And he said, I had nothing to do with that. It is a coincidence. don't know. My mom always told me that there was no such thing. But okay, well, thank you, Barry, for the information. I really appreciate it. So the detective said, "Thank you, Barry. We'll get back to you." He said, "Do you mind printing that out for me?" Not a problem, sir. Not a problem. So they walk off, and he said, "Well, you want me to walk you to your car, Zion?" Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you very much. He said, "This got to be hard on you, getting information about your husband and his mistress, especially when you just find out." I mean, he was literally. That's why I wanted him here last night, because I had just got out the shower and I went into the bedroom and I told him how much I loved him, and he said he needed to talk to me, and this is what he told me. He said that he'd been seeing someone for 3 years and that he was ready to leave our marriage for her. I was devastated. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I got a little petty, but not like violent or anything. I just gave him the thought of violence, but not for real. Like, it was innocent. I mean, I went and filled up a water gun and I squirted him with the water gun. And I told him he was washed up. Really? Oh, that's priceless. That's pretty classic. I love that. He said, "Wow, that was classy." I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny, but the situation isn't funny, and I gotta get to the bottom of what's going on. I know today I'm gonna take care of my affairs and call my attorney, because I am not about to get entangled in this web that he just weaved on me. This is odd. And it has Steven's name all over it. Even with the guy who was at the hotel, Bobby. Were you guys able to check the cameras to see if you spotted him? Ma'am, I haven't gotten those details yet, and when we do, we will give you some clarity, okay? Thank you so much. You said, "Are you on your way home?" I don't have a home at this point. I am going to find me another hotel, and I think I'm gonna go shopping and just get some things, just at least until I speak to my attorney and figure out where we're gonna go from here, because it's over. He's washed up, like I explained to him. Zion, I'm so sorry you're going through this, and I can tell this is hard on you. And he said, "Look, let me give you my card." He said, "I know Detective Brown gave you his card, but I'm Detective Johnson, and here you go. Here's my card. If you need anything," he said, "absolutely anything. Even you just need someone to talk to." He said, "Because this has to be difficult for you." He said, "Reach out to me at any time, okay?" Thank you for being so kind. I really appreciate it. So Zion gets in her car and she sits there for a moment, and she pulls up Google and start Googling department stores in the area. So she found something that fit her taste and drove straight there. She walks in after she parked, and she looks around and goes straight over to the casual section, and she pulls out some jeans and a couple blouses and some khakis, and just to have some things just so that she's comfortable, and she even pulled out an evening dress just so that you just never know. She got her some heels and some casual shoes and some accessories. And she walks right up to the counter and she said, "Hi, how you doing? It's just this, ma'am." So the lady went ahead and processed her stuff, and she said, "Ma'am, the card declined." "Excuse me?" "No, are you sure? Because I have plenty of money." "I'm so sorry, ma'am. The card declined." She said, "I'll run it again." So the lady went ahead and ran the card again, and again, it declined. Zion said, "I was like, what the hell's going on?"